welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Mina, and if you're new here, we talk about everything mindset, identity shift, a little bit of vlogging in between, but mostly transformation. I am super happy because, as you noticed, it's a little dark, and that's because everybody in my house is asleep. But there was no way that I was going to go to bed without filming this YouTube because I think it is so important. I want to start off with an even more important question. And that question is, what if I told you that the version of you who has everything that you want right now already exists? And the only thing that's getting in the way of you getting to that version of yourself is a decision. Not money, not a circumstance, not timing, but a decision. Stay with me. This episode might change everything for you. Let's talk about what a decision actually is. We have to take it back to my homie, Mr. Napoleon Hill. This individual wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, where he studied over 500 different successful entrepreneurs in that time to try to figure out what they all had in common. He figured something out that they all had in common and dedicated a whole chapter to it. And that chapter is known as the decision-making chapter. Now you're probably thinking, Mina, I make decisions all day long. I make decisions all the time. But the truth is that you probably aren't making the right decisions. Now, let me break this down because there are 3 different types. There's the I'll try, there's the I'll do my best, and then there is the I will. And out of those 3 decisions, only one actually makes a change. September 12, 1962, we had a president by the name of Kennedy, and he was the one that decided that we were going to the moon. Did we know how we were going to get there? No. Did we have the resources? Probably not all of them. But you know what we did have? A president in charge of making a decision. And he didn't say, I'll try to get to the moon. And he didn't say, I'll do my best in getting us to the moon. He said, we will go to the moon. That is the decision I'm talking about. And here's the trap that most people never escape. They wait until they have everything that they need in order to make that decision. They wait until they can see the whole picture before they commit. But the thing is that the picture only appears after the decision is made. That's what gets people stuck, because you're waiting on something that only shows up after you've already committed. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Indecision is not neutral. Indecision is actually a decision. You're deciding every single day by not doing that you're okay with staying exactly where you are. The reason you don't have what you want has nothing to do with circumstances or timing or money. It's because you never, not once, have made a committed decision. Today that changes. And the only reason I say that is because I know it. I was the exact same way. Okay, now that we understand that there are different types of decisions, but yet only one that moves the needle, we gotta talk about this thing called the frequency concept. I don't wanna lose you right now, so pay attention and lean in, and I hope you're taking notes. Your current results, your bank account, your relationships, your job, it's not a reflection of your potential, it's a reflection of your dominant thought frequency. 95% of your daily behaviors is subconscious, meaning you can do it with your eyes closed. That means that you're literally running on a program that was built and written years ago. It's like you're driving forward, staring in the rear view mirror, trying to figure out why in the world you keep hitting the same walls. And it even goes deeper than mindset. I don't know about you, but I was brought up by a Latin mom, and she used to always tell me, prepare for the worst. When you're preparing for the worst, let me tell you what that does on a biomechanical level. You are releasing chronic stress hormones that condition your body to literally expect the worst. You become chemically addicted to that type of emotion, therefore leading your biology to actually help you in staying stuck. 97% of people will never live the life that they want. And not because they're not capable, but because they are currently repeating the same reality that they want out of. They're doing something every single day that has them locked into that same reality, waiting for certainty. And certainty is a lie that your brain tells you in order to keep you safe. Listen, we've talked about growth already. Check out my previous videos, but growth doesn't come from certainty. Growth lives in the decision that you make before you're even ready. And remember what my boy Albert Einstein said. He said, you cannot solve a problem with the same mind or the same train of thought that created it. So now that we understand the frequency concept, we have to dive into the higher faculties concept. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to jump too in depth with higher faculties because we can go on a deep dive on that alone. Your higher faculties are something that's God-given to you. It's your intuition, it's your imagination, it's your willpower. It is the only thing that separates you from a dog, from an animal. It is the reason why human beings are the only things on this planet that we know of that can bring something out of nothing. We are the only creatures that are able to go against our environment. No other creature on this earth can do that. We don't have to conform to the world around us. We as human beings can create the environment instead of being a product of our environment. And so when it comes to talking about the higher faculties, we need to understand that this is something nobody has ever really taught us. Like, yeah, I know about willpower and I know about imagination, but realistically, when was the last time we dreamt, right? When was the last time we got lost in that la-di-da-di world? Most of the time, people are telling us to get out of that world and snap back into reality, forgetting that imagination is where everything starts. You connect imagination with a level of desire, and the opportunities are endless, limitless, beautiful. And so I say that to say this: you don't know this stuff because nobody taught you this stuff. They're not teaching this in schools. They don't want you to know about this because this allows you to step out of this little matrix that they have us in and remind you of what your true capabilities are. You are more than just a number. You are more than just an employee. You are more than just a paycheck, somebody clocking in and out. You are so much more than that, and they want you to forget that. Again, we don't have time to cover all the mental faculties today, but you have 6 of them, and I highly recommend you either subscribe and wait for the next video, because I guess now I have to do a deep dive on it, or you could do some research on your own. 1 is imagination, 2 is willpower, 3 is intuition. You have perception, then you have memory, and last but not least, you have reason. Most people go actually their entire lives only using their physical faculties, right? Your ability to see, taste, touch, feel, hear, and you completely forget about your God-given faculties. What makes you so much greater than you can possibly imagine. Most people outsource every single decision to logic, or those 5 senses that we just spoke about. And then they wonder why nothing new ever shows up. Even speaking about the intuitive mind, if we talk about it, it's such a sacred gift. Remember, the rational mind, the logical mind, is a faithful servant. And we have created a society that honors and lifts up the faithful servant, forgetting about the sacred gift, which is your intuitive mind. Like, how many of you guys have made a decision fully aware that logically it made no sense, but your intuition told you go for it, and it ended up being one of the best decisions you've ever made? I could tell you I've made so many of those, and I'm so happy and grateful that I listened to my intuition, and I want you to start practicing to listen to yours. And so the way that we can start practicing that, 1 is understanding this concept, and it's that you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. Now, this one is for my people who are always waiting for the full plan before they take one step. This is for my overthinkers. Okay, I'm talking straight to you guys right now because I know there's so many watching. The plan does not come before the decision. The decision comes before the plan. You have to trust that as you take steps, the dots will connect moving forward. The gap between where you are right now and where you want to be is not a knowledge gap. It is a commitment gap. You're not waiting for more information. You're waiting to receive some type of certainty. And I'm here to tell you that that certainty is never going to come before the decision. Again, you don't have to see the whole staircase to just take your first step. I remember when I first started day trading, I was so scared. I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I was taking 10 steps backwards in order to take one step forward, if that. And I just remember telling myself, move the needle every single day. Learn something new every single day. Don't worry about the destination. Don't worry about the end goal. Just one foot in front of the other. I think I'm going to do YouTube videos more at nighttime because it feels so good to be doing this with my house asleep. Like, you have no idea. But as I started to move the needle in my trading journey is when the next card would appear, and the next card would appear, and the next day I would know what I needed to learn, because I was just taking day by day little baby steps in the right direction, right? And I truly believe that once you make a decision, the universe conspires in your favor, and people, places, and things will come together to form a route and to form a path for you, but only if you have truly committed in your mind and in your heart that this is something you will do. Not do your best, not try, you will do. Remember, in the beginning, we talked about 3 types of decisions and understanding which one you're actually making and which one, because there's only one, that gets the job done. And I'll leave you with this. This is the moment where we get to kind of fuse everything together, right? This is where science kind of meets spirituality. And it's going to sound like magic, but please stay with me. You're already here and you're almost at the end. Bob Proctor was my last mentor when he was alive. May he rest in peace. But Proctor calls this the moment of fusion. That's when your belief matches the state that you want. When your belief matches that state, and you become that frequency, and it starts to project in the physical world, that's fusion. That's what I told you about in the last video when I said, first you gotta think it, then you gotta be it, then you'll have it. That thinking it and that being it is that moment where the fuse happens. On a biological level, I'll tell you what's happening. When you can picture something in your mind and you can hold that image for a long period of time, your body will chemically start to shift itself in that direction. So if you think about gratitude long enough, if you think about certainty and joy long enough, your brain will start to mimic those emotions physically and will start to release things like serotonin and oxytocin in order to match what it is that you're thinking about. Remember, the body is the mind. Your heart has neurons. Your gut has neurons. Feeling it. It isn't a metaphor. When I tell you actually feel it, think it, feel it, be it, it's not a metaphor. This is biology I'm trying to teach you. And here's what trips everyone up about this is that they believe wholeheartedly that they need to see evidence first before they believe it. That's completely backwards. The feeling comes first. That's why they say the feeling is the secret. And the feeling comes after the correct thought is held long enough. You hold that thought in your head long enough, a feeling emerges. That feeling changes your biology and your chemistry, allowing you to then be it and then have it. The evidence is honestly the last thing to show up, always. Your outer reality right now is just a printout of your inner reality and your inner state. I can look at somebody from a mile away and tell them by their fruits. We can see it in your fruits, right? I can see how you are internally based off your external behaviors, environments, the way you hold yourself, the way you dress, the way that you act, how you speak. I can tell what internal state you're in because of that. Stop trying to change the printout without changing what's being printed. The person that you decide to become, when you decide to become that person, your biology completely begins to change. You're not waiting for the world to change first. You're changing first, And your environment has no choice but to catch up. Your friends have no choice but to catch up. These opportunities have no choice but to catch up because you will be vibrating on that frequency. And before you think I'm just leaving you with inspiration today, I would never end a video without giving you some type of strategy, because we know that knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. I'm drinking dandelion tea, side note, great for detox, great for digestion. If you're a bloated girl, you know, pretty girls have stomach issues, dandelion root, peppermint and ginger, but dandelion root, it's been chef's kiss. We're gonna dive into it. You ready? This is where you start to look at me and be like, Mina, okay, I get it. But what the heck do I do now? And how do I put it into action? Well, I'm glad you asked, Susie, because I'm about to tell you exactly what to do. Number one, every morning, 5 minutes. Every morning, 5 minutes. You heard it here. What did I say? Every morning, 5 minutes. Write one sentence in the present tense as if it's already true. I am a six-figure earner. I am a multimillionaire. I do have the family of my dreams. Say it out loud and then sit in that feeling. Sit in that feeling for about 60 seconds. Put a timer on if you have to. Sit in that. Let it simmer. Let that feeling build up. Not the logic. I don't want to hear you talking about, it sounds so silly, I'm not a six-figure earner. You are right now. We need to rewire that brain. I am a six-figure earner. I'm going to sit in this feeling for 60 seconds, not the logic, feeling. It takes 30 to 60 days to rewire some of your neural pathways. You're literally building a new brain. Once a week, you're going to have 2 columns. On one column, you're going to write, how am I actually showing up? And on the other column, you're going to write, how does that version of me that I say I want to be actually show up? Compare the two. Then, once you compare the two, find the gap. Then I want you to say, what would that version of me decide to do right now that I have been postponing? What would that version of me decide right now to do that I have been postponing? Make that one decision. Not I will try, not I'll do my best. I will. Make the decision. And then the scary one. The scary Jerry one. I don't want you to kill me for this, but the goal that you've been circling, make it real today, tonight, whatever time you're watching this. How do I make it real, Mina? Tell someone. Write it down. Have somebody hold you accountable. Post it online. You gotta think it, then you gotta feel it, then you gotta move like it, breathe like it, be it. Be it, and then you'll have it. And then last but not least, every night when you put your head on that pillow, I want you to ask yourself, did I think, did I act, and did I feel like the person that I told myself I want to become? Or did I default to who I've been? It's a very powerful question. I would do it every night. There was a moment in my life where I had no idea how I was going to do anything. There was a moment in my life where I was a broken, single, stay-at-home mom with no college degree, no savings, no help. And I had no roadmap. I had no guarantee. I had no idea what my skill sets were at the time besides making drinks. Nothing lined up with what I chose to do, but I decided to do it anyways. And that one decision has changed the trajectory of my whole life. I'm here with you right now because of that one decision I made 7 years ago. And everything I just walked you through, that's what I did. That's exactly what happened after. So whatever you've been sitting on, whatever you've been circling, whatever you've been scared to commit to, whatever you've been waiting to feel ready to do, just remember that decision isn't something you wait to feel ready to make. Decision is the thing that makes you ready. The version of you who has everything that they want, they don't wait for the money, they didn't wait for the plan, they didn't wait for permission. They just decided. And I think it's your turn to decide. I think you're ready. And I hope that you really enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed filming it. So you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.